So yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know. I was skateboarding and I fell and badly broke my hand, my right arm, so bad. So my wrist was literally next to my hand. So yeah, it's affected all my hand, my shoulder, everything. So I'm like a disabled person, so I can't surf, I can't run, I can't do anything. And I have a close friend, so she has only one son, and he was killed in road accident. It wasn't his fault. So the ceremony is today. So just, yeah, interesting period of
My
life.
my condolences to you and the experience that you're going through.
Thank you.
My parents also went to they went to a funeral this morning
Mm.
as well, and so they were sharing also a lot about, some of the things. But it's fascinating how it's showing up. Death is creating life. And I think that it's so unfortunate, especially when a young person dies at such an early age.
21.
It's it reminds us, how blessed our life are.
Yeah, might probably take some time just to heal and yeah, to understand. Yeah, but definitely I have always a feeling of appreciation, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
How
Maybe
was your
also,
Portugal?
I just want to share, maybe also too, like reminding yourself to be careful, when you're because you injured yourself, to just really at that same time to just be even more careful with the amazing things that you do, like I know you do a lot of fun stuff in the water and things like this, so maybe it's just a little bit of a
But this time I didn't do anything, really dangerous. We finished skateboarding, and I was literally going to my car, and I just like step on the tail of the board and just slipped and fall. So I even didn't, it was a lucky accident, just happened.
yeah, I mean, like I said, everything can be a great lesson if we choose.
It was interesting to observe how body responds, like first reaction, like a shock, like you can't breathe, you sweat, and all these things. So all this protective mechanism. So like, wow, that's so smart.
Our body really is. It connects us so deeply with each other and what's happening in the world. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. We just got to pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go to Portugal?
Yeah, I did. I just got back yesterday. I
Yeah.
just
How
returned
was it?
yesterday. Yeah, it was great. I spent a lot of time with a really big community there, a lot of community leaders and a lot of beautiful land. It was really exciting. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the people and the presence, the nature, of course. Learned a lot from being there with everybody. It was really fun.
Yeah,
Like people came from all over to come and visit and connect with me. It was
that's
nice. Like,
amazing.
yeah, they came from like Amsterdam and Spain and Germany, some great friends and things like this. So it was really beautiful to just see how many amazing people are in Europe that really love spending time together and how we're really focused on making change together. So I'm excited. I'm grateful for them. They're very good people of high intention, of very high caliber.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I'm
How
grateful.
many people did come?
So I knew about 10 of them, but there were about 60, 70 people altogether there.
Any young people?
Yeah. I mean, there were all age groups, parents and they're, older, younger. So
So are there any, I understand that was cool, like the event itself, but are there any outcomes of this action?
Yes, of course. So the intention of the rocket and the building of the rocket was focused on anchoring a responsibility as a role of what we're doing in the energy sector. And so how we're integrating our resourcefulness as a team to move together into sovereign, what I call the sovereign age, but what we're doing together is to move into sovereign responsibility. So everybody is pooling our resources so that we are moving together as a team and bringing different levels of, I want to say consciousness, but it's really just different levels of expertise based off different verticals to make the project be a really success so that we can duplicate it and be a project that is capable and willing to hold that standard.
Sorry, but I don't know what this project is about. So I saw a few pictures. What's about this rocket?
So the rocket is an influence, or it's an installation that represents where we're all headed
Hmm.
in terms of a collective community and how we are moving forward with strategy, with execution, with proper engineering, and with teamwork. So
Hmm.
it really represents the micro philosophy of what we're doing at a macro level of consciousness, because our community of creators and what we're here to emphasize is to really change the nature of abundant energy and really emphasize a responsible role in this world of how we're going to integrate and maintain a sovereign economy or divine economy ecosystem for the
Hmm.
next generation so that we don't create the same problems that our predecessors have created for us before we came to this world.
So I know about this philosophy. I just didn't understand about is it a rocket? Is it some kind of symbol or?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the rocket is like like we're going to the moon, like we're to the moon. Like the rocket
Okay.
is really the propulsion of to the moon, and we're making it happen as a team. And so the symbolism is really,
Significance.
it's very significant for us
Yep.
because it's an important installation of those of us that know why we're here. Uh, like yourself and like myself and like people that we're here to really integrate a responsible role in this world. Uh, but we're taking care of the world itself, meaning we're taking care of the people, for the people, by the people, not just you, me, or a few of us. It's about looking after one another.
Without people knowing about it. Is it correct?
Without people, or no, we share it. We're very open.
Yeah, I mean, like there are billions of people, and what you're trying to do, it potentially might affect everyone.
Yeah,
So yeah, meaning like including people who knows nothing about it, you know.
exactly. It's a complete paradigm shift because it allows people to even be part of it, even if they don't know anything about it, but then feel the effect of it because it will change the way that they live their life and the way that their children get to live their life.
So where are you at which stage are you at the moment? So how do you see it?
Well, we're already in the engineering framework, so we've connected with different Dutch companies as well as Alberta companies in the energy sector, and we're putting them together to really take it to the next level. So we were supposed to do a feasibility study,
Hmm.
but what I've learned is that the feasibility study has already been done by another organization with different resources somewhere else. And that organization said, "Hey, Eric, guess what? We've already done the feasibility study over here, so we can apply that to the project over here in
Yeah.
Alberta." So that saves us in itself $3 million.
Hmm. Interesting. Why is it Dutch company? I was thinking it should be some kind of, American, I don't know, Dutch.
Well, it's a combination. There's a lot of different American, Canadian, Dutch, uh, all coming together.
Mhm.
And I think that's where it doesn't really matter the way that we're thinking about it. It's not really focused on what country you're from or what narrative like it's fundamentally about sovereignty and about the people. And that to me is the most important thing because it's not just you see, like it's so fascinating. We sometimes forget that we're all the same. And that's the way I see life. I know that not everybody sees that life from that perspective, but I see that as a very key component of what we're here to do. And I genuinely choose to live my life based off of that responsibility. I choose to live my life based off of a vehicle to create something really disruptive for the world. And it doesn't need to be like I'm just here to do the best that I can with the knowledge that I have. I don't need to be at the front or whatever. However, so happens that I get to lead in different ways, hold the space, be with the people, connect with them. But there's a lot of people around me that are way smarter in the way that they get to operate, right? Um, and maybe that's why it's so fun
I
for
think
me because
it calls project management. I'm a project manager. Just an example. I work in.
I wouldn't even call myself a project manager. I would say I'm more of a coordinator, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, currently I work on a project which is 500 million, so $500 million. And I say that I'm just project manager because I have like 50 engineers who are like way smarter than me. They're so massive, but they're working like in their kind of like cells. And I'm like this, like a glue moving. I don't really do much. I'm just project manager, but yeah. So I think it's kind of like what you doing.
Yeah, I mean maybe you can help us. It sounds like you really already know what you're doing, so maybe there's a way that you want to get involved based off of your expertise. It sounds like maybe that's something that really would resonate with you. I don't know, but if not, that's fine as well. I'm just thinking if you're already working with a lot of engineers around the world, maybe there's a way that we can really integrate your knowledge if it's something that you're passionate about. Because if you're not excited about it, then there's no point.
No, I think that's very important. So I wouldn't say probably passion. Passion, I don't know how many passions can you have. Maybe that's my limitation just in my mind. Like passion is something like only one thing what you really like crazy about. But I think it's important what you're doing. And yeah, when it comes to energy. So I'm passionate about circular economy. So energy is one of the three elements. So yeah, and I work in water business, water sector. So it's like yeah, water waste energy. Yeah.
Interesting. So there's a way that I'm certain that even the fundamentals of what we're doing in terms of bringing the energy in Alberta, tapping into what we're doing in with the Dutch company, and then the project that they also have in Netherlands. Maybe, maybe, maybe there's also a way to sync that into what you've accomplished as well inside of what you're doing in Australia. So perhaps by you getting aware of what we're doing on an open source and being in some way, shape, or form involved, even if it's just to be curious for now, until you figure out a little bit more of the details, maybe that's something that you might want to, especially with your expertise of how
I
many
can have a
years?
look at what you're doing. So where are you at the moment? What's like, like WBS, work breakdown structure. So what's your schedule? What's your budget? Where are you going? So what's main stages? What's resources engaged? Usual stuff, nothing really special. Yeah.
Well, it's special for those of us that are doing it for the first time.
When you work with engineers, they're always very smart and like, very bright and light people, and they can be so excited about something, and they go in one person goes in this direction and this person goes in this direction, and they start arguing and they forget about like what's actually the goal. So I'm the person who like, guys, you're so cool. You're not talking about different things. We're talking basically about the same. We just need to find a way how to like, utilize it and, including, so yeah, align it with our strategy.
I love it. Maybe you can teach me some of your magic.
It's not magic. It's common thing. It's just basic fundamentals of project management.
Yeah, but like like I
Anyone
said,
can do it. Nothing special.
to you it's common, but to me it's like there's you know what Tony talks about? He talks about those 2 millimeter shifts, right?
Two
And
millimeter shift now.
there's
What
a
is?
2 millimeter shift. So sometimes a 2 millimeter shift will take you to a completely
Ah,
next
yeah,
level.
yeah. It's like about, the
Right.
pilot. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So so what I'm saying is that you may do every single day something that is like simple to you. Something that like it's just like normal. You may have an insight that is so would be just like going, washing my hands every single day, right? But to you, it's just like this normal insight that you would be able to point out to me. And for me, it would just change my world. And this is the thing that because everything is like for you it's a habit where for me I'm still developing different habits, right? Because I'm doing working in a lot of different dimensions all at the same time. And so it gives me awareness into a new way or an even better way to discover how I can serve uh everyone that I'm putting together. You know what I mean?
Do you have anything like kind of like a project management plan, something like some document where everything is like, juicy stuff written? So where you can like, you can have a look at one document to understand what the project is about, how much it costs, who is engaged, all these kind of main elements.
So right now, no, we
Because
have
when
like
everything
the part.
just talks, so that's kind of, it needs to be on paper somewhere.
Yeah, so we have the numbers on paper in Excel, right? And we
Budget is
have
only one of elements. It's not enough. So one overarching document which connect to all other pieces.
right. So we have like an MOU. We have an MOU. We have budget. So like Excel spreadsheet, all of the cash flow, finances, things like this. And we have a presentation. Uh, very, very basic presentation.
What about
So,
schedule? Do you have like it's broken on stages? So stages, what follows when, and resources?
and milestones. So
Yeah,
I have that, but in milestones, not on a schedule capacity. So
that's
maybe
fine.
I'd be curious if you're open to maybe going over or offering maybe an example of how I can create one, or if you've created one in the past and maybe I can use it as an example to then make it similar. And then by making it similar based off of the project that I'm doing, then I could give it to you and you could have a look at it after I make that example
Yeah, I can do
become.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of universal thing and it doesn't depend how big or small project is, what area. So it's all the same rules. Like,
Amazing. So do you mind sharing an example with me and I could make it
yeah, yeah,
happen after, and I could make that my homework this weekend.
yeah, can do.
Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
No worries.
What can I do for you?
I'm just in a special phase at the moment, like, observation, pausing, um, not reassessing, but maybe understanding that, I'm like an achiever and push everything hard and like, achieving all these things, going through all the challenges, but now I realize maybe I push too hard and Sometimes I just need to be more kind of maybe gentle to myself and observe and notice. So, for example, I have deeper connection with the ocean at the moment because I can't surf, but I still come every single day to the ocean. I watch other surfers, I watch ocean, so it's still different. So I don't think I need anything in this stage. So I'm just kind of in the process of, I would say, probably healing and appreciation and understanding some important thing, not only about like, we're so focused on our life. Everything is so busy. We rush business, family, and just don't have time for anything. And this, when this incident happened, I was like, what am I going to do? My days are so empty. So I can't do like 90% of my activities, only everything what I can do with my brain. And even my brain was so foggy. I was so drugged. It just ridiculous. I couldn't think. It was very painful. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think I need anything. I just maybe some time, maybe a couple of weeks just to, yeah.
I titled today The Power of Process. And
Mhm.
I find that we've attracted each other into this moment to process our experiences. Like, I like making things happen. This is my nature. I'm very much the guy that leads a lot of things all at once and brings a lot of energy to the space. And I'm aware of it. I'm very aware of it. I'm very aware that I lead by being, not by talking, although I like to talk, but I do get curious. It's not like uh, I'm not focused so much on preaching. I'm more focused on action. And for me, what I'm hearing when you say this is because you're reflecting me, right? Like we're
Actually, good,
mirrors,
good word. Yeah.
right? So what I hear is, Eric, breathe a little. Allow yourself to enjoy this process. Allow yourself to embrace this process.
It's hard to enjoy, when you can't dress yourself, when you can't, you need to develop new habits because you don't have right hand anymore. And you will be surprised how many things we do with our right hand. If you're right-handed, it's just ridiculous. You can't brush your teeth if you use usual brush. You can't use a knife. You can't. You have to feed yourself only with left. You can't do most of things what you take for granted doing. So you can't unscrew any lid because you need two hands. You know, just ridiculous. First week, I
And
was a lot of, I was very angry at myself that I can't do anything what I used to.
and I think again, what I hear is what can I do better with my left hand? How can I learn to and I'm speaking for myself, by the way. I'm not like you can apply it to your life if you choose, but what I'm hearing to apply it to my own life based off of the reflection that you're giving is, Eric, how creative can you be with the parts of you that you don't use necessarily or are not used to using all the time? Because right now your right hand is out of commission.
Yeah, I developed left hand because I use, mouse, I type, I do most of things with my left hand, but it's not so good. I still
Right.
can do.
So is it possible to make everything because we're constantly and never ending improving, right? And compassion is one thing that I really believe in is such a fundamental part of our life. Like we're doing the best. You're doing your best, I'm doing my best. We're really doing our best in this lifetime. I believe that we're both people of high state like high standards, high level of integrity. We choose to live a life of growth. We're doing the best with the knowledge that we have. And what we don't know, we're okay with learning. And so by recognizing that and discerning that there's things in us and outside, as a result, outside of us, that are going to come into existence, now getting better with the left hand, or having compassion with doing less because you can't do as much with the left hand. So being okay with doing less and having patience with doing less, or embracing that moment of less and embracing the component of power and being in your energy and attracting it versus forcing it with your energy.
Yeah, but it's not all about this one. Just imagine, I used to wake up 5 a.m., go surfing, like, set my day for like a completely different state. But when it's now, I can't do anything. I can't go for a run. I can go for surf. I can't do anything.
But that's what I'm saying. That perhaps the universe is asking you to just relax.
It becomes depressive, So when you
Well,
active, you get all this, good hormones like endorphins and all this good stuff, and I can't get them now.
I disagree with that statement. That's a choice.
Maybe not can't, maybe I don't know how.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. So I love it. See, do you see how you became already more like responsible? I love it. So the distinction there of discerning that peace in your presence, I imagine, and my hallucination is that you have a lot of thoughts going through your mind and you're in need to constantly make things come reality
Mhm.
now, right?
Yeah, of course.
So is it possible for you to get into a state of complete inner peace so you can just be present to observe those thoughts?
I don't know, just maybe I was going towards this direction before this, death happened, and it's completely shaken me, just shut me down.
Right.
It's really significant kind of I don't know, impact stress that it's really hard to be able to balance yourself to be in a place like what you're talking about.
Can I
Did
help
you
you?
get what I'm saying?
Can I support you through this right now?
I don't know. I don't think anyone can do anything in just kind of time and
Well,
just.
can I take you through a process that maybe help you, or maybe we can just get in a place where you're more in your body and more in your heart and less in your mind?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, would be nice. Can
Yeah?
we?
Yeah, of course. Cool. So, can you sit up straight, like wherever you can, just as straight as you can, you know? Uh, Close your eyes and just take a deep breath in through your nose to the top and out through the mouth. Again through the nose to the top and out through the mouth. And as you're breathing, just slowly think and feel what your heart feels like. Maybe if you want, put your hand on your heart, just feel it. Feel what it feels like for its heartbeat, for that moment of grace. And tapping into that feeling of coherence, maybe remember the last time that you were just allowed yourself to be in that space. What do you really love? Who do you really care for? A moment of grace, a moment of gratitude, a moment of maybe it's being on the beach, observing the ocean just before you're going to go for a surf. And just remember that feeling. Don't even think of it, but feel it. What did it feel like? And as these thoughts are coming through your mind or trying to take you away from the present moment, bring yourself back to now. Bring yourself back to the moment of your body, the fact that you're here, the fact that you're present in the moment and that you get to observe these thoughts, that you get to be here and that you get to pay attention to your heart's wisdom, that it shows up for you without you even needing to think about it, that you get to be on this call, you get to wake up in the morning, you get to drink coffee if you drink coffee or tea. You even get to smile or cry when you choose to. That moment of peace and patience, of recognizing that allowing yourself to be alone in nature, taking a deep breath again. Your heart, feel it. Tell me what you feel.
I don't know what I feel, but I see the river not far from my home. It's like tropical bush forests, and this river has um, like sandy edges of this river, which like sand like in the ocean, which is very unusual for the river
Mm.
because rivers usually are quite, dirty and with brown water, but this one is clean. So it's like artery going to the ocean.
Beautiful. And how does that make you feel?
Very peaceful, very quiet. I can hear birds, and there's no wind because when it's ocean, it's always quite loud. Waves, wind, salt in the air, and on the river there is very kind of, there's not much movement.
Amazing. So not much movement, very peaceful. And so what would it take for you to get back to that space every moment where you maybe felt a little bit anxious or uncertain, being there, feeling that moment right now?
I don't know. That's probably hard state to
What do
reach.
you mean? You just did it. You just did it.
I do
How
priming.
is it hard? How you see the mind just kicked in. You open your eyes and you're like, oh my goodness, that's so hard. Oh my goodness, I was just there. That's so hard.
Well, because you asked me a particular question and I start
Right.
thinking, yeah.
So what I encourage or invite you to feel and pay more attention to is that moment. Just just feel into that moment again. Maybe close your eyes real quick. Put your back straight again for a moment. Yeah. And just go back to that feeling, okay? That feeling of peace by the river with the sun, no wind. Feel that presence. Your heart's beating, you don't even have to think about it. That's a presence inside of you that you have no control over. You don't need to worry about it. That's infinite intelligence running through you. Feel that peace. Tell me what you feel.
I actually don't do anything special, it just happens.
I love it. Tell me more.
This place is very special because it's kind of everything in one place. So even this forest is kind of tropical, but it's a kind of thing of this place. It's a combination of all possible, trees from, I don't know, different states of Australia, like from Russia, from Europe. So you can find some trees which is not usual for, and this combination of everything in one place.
It sounds like heaven.
And I can see how water slightly kind of, shimmering. It's sunny day,
Mm.
but it's very kind of slowly, gentle, without any force. And the river itself, it's not just straight river like urban river. It has all these, bends and some kind of small little other creeks, rivers coming into this river, and which creates this kind of habitat for different creatures, different types of not just birds, but insects, all sorts of frogs.
Nice. Frogs.
Mm. They make such
Beautiful.
funny songs.
They're singing songs?
Yeah, frogs. Oh, they're massive.
I love it.
Yeah, they jump, across road like massive ones. Because it's tropical, ocean is a bit kind of
Big.
exaggerated, bigger sometimes than used to be
Amazing.
compared to Europe. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Do you see what you just did?
Yeah, it's kind of reaching states of kind of being balanced and peaceful without really worrying much. One of the biggest thing for me was like, it's a lot of stress in the body because of pain. So, when you have pain 24/7, it's kind of makes your body being like in this like a bull state, and you never can relax, and it's kind of drain your energy.
And what did you feel now?
So I don't
The
feel it
opposite?
now. Yeah.
Beautiful. So can this be a practice for you anytime that you're feeling this strain? Because what you experience there is heart coherence. You're totally in your heart. You allowed yourself to feel it, to experience it, and to be in it. So it took you to such a place of peace that your actual mind got to relax. You got to really experience the moment. You were so present with yourself, even in your facial expressions and the way that your face completely shifted. I'll send you this recording so that you can watch it back because it's beautiful. And this is the nature of our peace and our presence and our youthfulness that shows up by just being in our truest form, embodied. The
Yeah, I
mind
wish
tries
I
to
could like,
forget.
switch on when I need it, like less quickly.
You
I understand
can,
it's kind of like a skills, like a habit. It can be developed. Yeah.
you can. So it really requires you to be here now, right? There's a requirement. Most people struggle to be in the space of now, right? They're either driving with focusing, on the rear view mirror, or they're so focused on the future that they don't even understand and planning for the future that they have zero time to be here in the moment,
That's true. Yeah, we always focus on future. That's true.
right? So allowing that space and time to be here now. And by the way, I realize this in my own nature because I do think a lot of making things happen. However, the beauty of, as you know, being a project manager is you're able to bring everybody in, right? So you're bringing them in. So now it's time for you to bring yourself in, your own spirit in. So think of you now project managing your own spirit into the now so that you could be in that place and your project is peace.
I like it.
Your
That's really interesting way of looking into this. Yeah, no, I thought about it. But the first thought, what happened to me when I was reflecting to death, um, like it can be no future actually.
It could be what?
It can be no future at all. So I need to appreciate what you have. Like,
Thank you.
yes. And I was sometimes like when before saying something to my kids, I like it can be last thing actually. I tell my daughter, my son. My daughter is 18, so pretty close age. And she, oh, believe me, she can freak me out so much. And my son is teenager, so 12. Yeah, they know how to pull, certain strings to make you really out of. But now, like I pause before saying something
Beautiful, right? So now
because
you're
maybe there
taking
is no
back the
future.
present moment
Yeah.
because what they're here is to teach you how to be here now versus thinking of the future on their behalf. The youth will always teach us to come closer to the now.
Oh, yeah. They teach us a lot. Yeah, that's true.
So use that skill of project management to bring it together, but think of the project as peace. It really is going to give you the knowing of being here now, and that's going to be the certainty that you cultivate in any environment because you'll know how to bring in your energy versus allowing the external world to dictate your circumstances to dictate your behavior. You'll be the one that changes the environments by knowing your certainty and your peace within yourself.
I am the voice.
Say again.
I am the voice. Yeah. That one of the things, like in theory, we know many things, but when it comes to applying it, we maybe don't forget sometimes. We kind of not lazy. We just, I don't know for what reason we just don't do it.
Well, because we think too much instead of being. So we don't use the mind is a tool. We are not the mind, right? We've all heard this before. We are not the mind. The mind is our tool. We
Yes,
are so much greater than the mind.
we forget
So
about it. Yeah,
we
that's true.
forget, right? And it's okay because that's the compassion. So if you give yourself compassion, you can quickly tap back into the heart and create its coherence. And from that place, use the mind as the servant versus being the mind and being allowing the mind to be you being the servant of the mind, right? This mind is your servant.
Yeah.
The mind is your profound wisdom of intelligence that will allow you to amplify your heart's intention, your heart's wisdom, your knowing.
Mhm.
So if we are profoundly influencing our environments from that knowing, we are now using the receiver to really attract a lot more profound ancient energy. We are not allowing the mind of the survival mind to attract the minutia of the egoic energy.
Mhm.
We move from here versus here.
Yeah, I understand what you say. Yeah.
So this becomes now the trusting in yourself. And so that repetition that you just did right now of allowing yourself to take a moment, you took a genuine moment, you were in your heart, you were in that space. You're like, okay, this is what I feel, this is what I see, this is what I like can pay attention to. And then you paid even more attention to the feeling to take you back to that moment. And it anchored your embodiment, your physiology. It started changing your language, it started changing your focus. That changed your state. And so that ignited a new level of energy that started being attracted to you because I felt it. So, as you know, repetition is the mother of skill, consistency is the father of mastery.
Mhm.
So, give yourself these moments of catching yourself and saying, okay, hold on, I just need to take a space and time for myself in this moment. Get into that space and time and moment and allow that receptor to be the antenna of the empowered energy because at that moment, your children, your friends, your environment is going to feel your energy and as a result get curious about what your needs are versus you needing to get curious about other needs.
Mm. Yeah.
So that will be I invite you if you choose to do that, whenever every couple hours if you can for the first, few days and then just take that moment, that brief moment for yourself. I invite it. If you choose, it will be something that changes your environment and changes your internal coherence.
I do priming in the morning, so I kind of I know what you're talking about, but it doesn't last long. Like, when I do priming, I feel good, but in a couple of hours, always like, feel it's always like,
But what we did here was a moment. This took you a moment. Did you like you have to watch back this recording. This took you a moment. Like you just needed a little bit of guidance and presence and you were there. And your whole physiology changed. Your whole being changed. I can't wait for you to watch this recording back because you're going to be like, "Whoa."
really.
Yeah. So you'll see the shift and so that you did that. I didn't do it. I just like look, I'm in Canada, you're in Australia. You did that, right?
How amazing
So
it is, huh?
right? So knowing that you can do that and knowing that you can watch this back and do that consistently Allow yourself to do that more throughout the day, and it will become that moment where you're just like it's a habit. It's who you are. It's who you become. And you're just there. You're in that moment all the time. And then this thing becomes the greatest tool, the greatest asset. Because now you're like, you move with such grace, with such level of fun and freedom and moving. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, 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 manifestation at its finest. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yes, I agree. So when I'm in the right state, I can do so many things. Yeah, recently I was quite lost and I just, yeah, felt so bad. So when I hide from people, because I understand I can't kind of give anyone anything before I kind of heal myself. Yeah.
And you're doing it now in this moment. Don't be so hard on yourself.
It's one of the lessons from this
You
incident.
know, compassion is the highest form of love. Devotion, compassion, highest form of love. We have to do that to ourselves first before we can ever. And even when we're seeing something we don't like in somebody else or something that we really are like is triggering us, okay, how can I have compassion for this experience right now? Because I know that what I see, it's actually my own shit. Whether
Yeah.
it's your children, your parents, your family, your friend, it doesn't matter.
And another thing, to know what this person, went through, being this kind of situation, this state. Mm.
And then allow that to come through when it needs to.
Thank you,
It's
Eric.
grace.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really grateful. I'm excited to, I love these calls and I love being in service. So, uh, for me, it's really a joy. It's really a pleasure.
I think it's two-way kind of interactions. When you help someone, you help yourself as well. So yeah.
And it's definitely what I need, for my life is recognizing the experience in front of us because that's the mirror. I just as much as like you said, I am here to serve, it's also serving ourselves, right? Because you're just my mirror.
Yeah. Just crying too much this time, these days.
Never crying too much. I always say yesterday I was on with the youth and I was talking about my experience and I teared up. But crying is never too much. Crying is the emotional connection to our great teacher. And our beautiful teacher, our infinite creator, communicates to us through grace. And those tears are the most reverent expression of joy or sadness or whatever the emotion comes through. And those tears are so pure, they're so real, they're so vulnerable and authentic. And so whenever somebody is crying and they apologize to me or they think it's too much or you will never see me apologize for crying because that's coming through me. That's coming through us all, from our teacher.
I think it's just how we were raised, it's like Western culture. So if you cry, you're weak.
It's
You
bullshit.
need to do something with this. So control yourself better. All these things, like, all these beliefs.
It's bullshit. So when somebody projects that there's weakness coming from crying or being vulnerable with emotion, it's another person's projection of their own weakness. Because vulnerability and authenticity is actually the strongest you can ever be.
Yeah, I agree.
And when you show that, you express that.
It's like, when it comes to, when I was mentioned cultures, I thought about, Jacinda, New Zealand. She's not prime minister, president anymore, but do you know who I'm talking about? So she's one of the most compassionate leaders, and I was like following her for years. It's just amazing how being compassionate leader actually can change and shift. So if you look at the strategy, how the country ruled now, that's impacted everything in a really good way. So so it shifted so much. Just one person changed so much, and compassion is the main word for this. Yeah.
What's her name?
Jacinda, New Zealand. I'll send you the link.
Okay,
Some
yes, please.
information. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you've heard about her. I've seen her somewhere. So she's quite, there are not so many female leaders.
I think I'm gonna try to interview her.
Yeah, she's not
Can
in
I talk?
power anymore. And
That's
yeah,
okay. I don't
yeah.
care.
So she's approachable. I think she should be.
Yeah,
So,
I
it
love.
was Chirac in New Zealand, and always blowing up, and people were so very angry with Muslims. And the first thing what she did, she came and she hugged these, Muslim women who were grieving. And it just raised like, oh my God, how can she hug them? They kind of like the reason for all this pain and all this thing. No, they're not. So it's something like
Exactly.
so brave, so unusual, so like not what leaders in the modern world do. So yeah, very different. She's cool.
Well, the thing is that more people need this type of leadership, this compassionate leadership. And this is a responsibility that a lot of youth are taking upon themselves now because they are not seeing it from our predecessors. So it's fascinating how our youth are willing to teach the older generation of what compassion and devotion means.
Yeah.
Because the older generation is so stuck in their ego and thinking only about war and scarcity and violence, where the youth is showing up in abundance and prosperity and peace to devote themselves to something greater because their parents and their parents' parents couldn't.
Yeah, I call it like filters, like lenses. We have always limitations. Any situation we treat through our filters, and the young children, people, they don't have it. They just see things happen. They don't evaluate them from this perspective, how
But what
we
they're
see
doing
them.
too is they're choosing. They're stepping into choice and recognizing an identity that they are willing to step into and not feel sorry for themselves or scared of what the external world has been trying to tell them for so long.
Yeah, sometimes it's amazing how bold they can be, knowing nothing and like,
They know, but this is the thing, they know way more because they're following their true nature.
yeah.
Knowing is being, knowing is embodying, knowing is walking the path, not thinking about it, not talking about it. Knowing is taking action and embodying the truth and being willing to do the things that are most difficult.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. It was amazing to
I
connect with
can't do
you.
such hands.
It's okay. It's okay.
I
It's
can't do
okay.
sun
No worries.
salutation when I practice yoga. I can't do it.
It's okay. No, it's a pleasure, and I'll send you the link of the stream so you can watch it back. I'll send it in the group.
Thank you. And I'll send you two things as I promised as well.
It means a lot. It really does.
Thank you.
Okay, have a beautiful day. See you later.
Thank
Enjoy your
you.
weekend.
Yeah. Bye.
Ciao.